Hi there, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to talk about a topic that comes up a lot with our students who are learning how to become better presenters, better speakers. They always mention, I want to be clearer, I want to be understood. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the mistakes and basically wrong choices people make that lead them away from being clear and show how instead to be clear. Present or master shimashou. This is the Presentation Japan series, and we are beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku in Tokyo. It's getting a little bit cooler after it's been quite hot, but still pretty hot. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy, committed to your success. I'm the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan and the best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. Through this podcast, I want to help you to become a better speaker who is clear, confident, persuasive, and highly influential with those around you. If you have feedback on the show, preferences, let us know. Now, don't forget, on iTunes, rate the show, 5 stars, review, awesome podcast, subscribe so you get it every week when it's released, and share it around with other people who, you know, if you've got to sit through shocker presentations by your colleagues, wise them up, say, hey, listen to this podcast, you know, it'll help you. Then you won't have to sit through their terrible presentations anymore. So the lineup on iTunes looks like this. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentations Japan series. And every second Tuesday, we have the Business Tatsujin no Oshie program. Wednesdays, we have the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, we have the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, we have the Business Pro Podcasto program. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, we have Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 204. Today, we're talking about being clear and being hopeful. Speaking is easy. So, being clear should be easy too. Well, that sounds good in theory, but there is more hope in play here than actual technique going on. Imagining that your usual conversational style is sufficient for presentations is another exercise in hopeful thinking. Wait a minute. People say that we should speak in a conversational style. So isn't this confusing or contradictory? What is meant by conversational is that the feeling should be relaxed, familiar, and inclusive, rather than aloof, stiff, and hierarchical. Being clear when speaking to audiences is no accident. Careful planning is needed, and so is a pair of pruning shears to trim the excess from your discourse. We have a common tendency in casual speech to spend a lot of time saying something which can be communicated much more economically. Often, we begin by making a reasonably clear statement, and we are doing well in the speaking clearly stakes. Then we spoil it by adding a lot more content to the same point. In one of our speaking exercises called the Magic Formula, the action step the speaker is recommending and the benefit of that action both have to be communicated in 5 seconds each. How hard can that be? You might be thinking. In our training classes, I hear the participant punch out the key point clearly and in time, but then they just keep adding and piling on the words, they begin to waffle. This is a habit we need to kill when making more formal presentations. Today's audience of thrusting multitaskers have no patience with dross. In fact, they have no patience, period. They lurch for their mobile phones and seek refuge in the internet to escape that white noise in the background. That white noise is you, by the way, taking too long to get to the point. Being clear revolves around having a crystal central message which has been constantly worked on until you can write it on a grain of rice. Okay, that's an exaggeration. But the point is to get it down to as few words as possible. This requires massive effort to get clarity of the message you want to convey. Once you have sieved the nuggets of your speech, then you start looking for the framework to hang the speech on. You need a structure that arranges the point being conveyed, wrapped, bound tightly by evidence. A great example of evidence is to tell the background as a story involving events, people, places, seasons, and times. Evidence can also be statistics, examples, data, anything that will satisfy the logical types in your audience who only believe in facts. Find out more when we come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but we also do custom in-house programs tailor-made for you. Now, we do these online, live online, and we do them in our super safe classroom. So if you want them in Japanese, we can do them in Japanese. If you want them in English, we can do them in English. Today's show is sponsored by our Dale Carnegie course. We're doing this face-to-face. We're going to be starting that one on the 30th of September, and it will run weekly for 12 weeks. Brilliant program. This is absolutely breakthrough program. Amazing results. Absolutely incredible results. On the 1st and the 15th of October, we will run 2 virtual selling previews. We've got a virtual selling course coming up starting on the 5th of November. But to give people an idea what's in the program, we're running 2 previews, 1st of October, 15th of October. Now, virtual selling, this is exactly what we need. We're all out there trying to sell online, but not too many people are doing very well. In fact, I had lunch today with a client, and he was saying that he's got 300 people. 24 of them are doing okay at the moment. About the same number are doing very, very poorly. And a big chunk in the middle who is sort of doing okay. So if that's you got people who are doing okay, and they're majority of numbers, then you want to ramp that baby up. Virtual Selling Mastery is the program. Preview will be on 1st of October and the 15th of October. On the 6th of October, we'll start our Leadership Training for Managers program. So 6th of October, we kick it off. Then it runs every week for 7 weeks. Leadership Training for Managers. This is, again, breakthrough program. So many people in Japan have got no idea how to lead. It's got no idea. Put them on this program, they'll know. So that will be on the 6th of October. Now, you want to do better in Japan? You can email me, greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you'd like to know more about those courses and other programs we have, go to our website, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching videos, and these days we learn a lot by watching videos, go to our YouTube channel, which is Japan Dale Carnegie TV. We've got over 1,020 now, maybe 1,020. I lose count. It's definitely over 1,000 videos there for you. Now we're releasing 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show on Japan. That's every Monday. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show. Saturdays, release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders all the way from SMEs up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic: how to lead in Japan. Probably the most difficult topic. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. And if you really want to advance your knowledge for selling in Japan, then get my book, The Bible on Selling in Japan, called Japan Sales Mastery. Get that on Amazon. If you want to learn how to master business in Japan, then get my other bestseller, Japan Business Mastery, also available on Amazon. Welcome back. The main body of the speech is where the key arguments are made, and it has to be tight. 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 We arrange the argument, point, then evidence, point, then evidence, all through the main points. We do so while employing brutal brevity. Get out those razor-sharp pruning shears. If the content isn't strongly supporting your key points with muscular evidence, then tighten it up or cut it out. Getting each key point down in size gives you greater scope to add more salient points. Usually in a 30-minute talk, you will get through around 3 to 4 main points. 3 main sections of the speech packed to the gunnels with waffle and fat with fluff destroys your credibility. Instead, compare that to the 5 major points supporting the argument, all lean like a racing greyhound. We should be keen to glean the dynamite points from all the material available and make room for as many of those power points as we can absolutely manage. The flow between the points should be silky smooth, with the end sentence of one setting up the start of the next section of the points and the proof you are putting forward. We need a bridge between the sectors rather than lurching abruptly from one point to a different point. Doing it this way will be baffling our audience. Often, this is what happens though. The speaker wanders all over the place, frothing up 3 or 4 main arguments and leaving a trail of confused punters in their wake. Waffling on is the mantra of the graduates of the hopeful school of public speaking. We don't want hope. We are going for clarity and surety. Speaking speed is a tricky balance. We don't want to kill our audience by bludgeoning them with a monotone, lifeless delivery. We want to speak with a lot of energy, and naturally, we tend to speed up in the process. The more passionate and engaged we become, often the faster we go. We need to maintain the passion, but adjust the torrent flow. More pauses, shorter sentences, and a good cadence are best. If you notice you are speeding up, then stop speaking and create a small pause so that you can regroup and continue at a better pace. Concentrate your passion and energy on keywords which you want to emphasize. Doing this will mean they stand out in the mind of the audience. All words are not equal. We choose which ones to give more power to, making them stronger. Speaking powerfully, clearly, with passion is a brilliant combination. This is a result of planning, not hope. The other key success ingredient is to practice. Getting the cadence right only comes through practice. Martin Luther King's famous "I have a dream" speech wasn't the first time he had delivered it. He had given it many times, refining it and practicing it, until he had a sufficiently large enough stage to make it a beacon for racial equality. How about it? Did you get value from today's show? If you did, then share the love around with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast on iTunes. Until the next episode, go out there and apply the learnings from today and become a presentations legend amongst your circle. Thank you for listening, and please tune in next week. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy, committed to your success here in Nippon.